if you're looking to hit that ball longer, if you're looking to hit more fairways, and if you're looking to get your handicap down and hit better drives, then that's what we're talking about in this golf lesson today. Guys, welcome back to Get Good at Golf. I am Chris. Let's talk about how you can get hitting this club right here, not only further, but straighter. So you'll see down here at the golf ball, I've set up a little bit of a visual aid for us because there's 3 tees in the ground there, and that is indicating the 3 different areas where we see people's low point. So nice and easy here, what we start to see, this one right here, which is at the golf ball, is often where we see your higher handicappers start to get your low point. We're often hitting down, we often hit a slice, or we don't make good contact. Second one here is for your mid to low handicappers, so we are getting that low point just before the golf ball, hitting up slightly, but we might still see some inconsistencies. This right here is where we start to see the pros get their low point. So they're starting to get that club working up a lot earlier than most amateurs, and that's why they hit the ball over 300 yards, and that's why you often see them a lot more consistent, hitting more fairways and having a shorter club into the green. If we can start to improve that for you, we can start to get your handicap working in the right direction. The first thing we see from high handicappers is, like I say, we get your low point here, but we also see exactly what we can see there. The ball often is teed down maybe too low. It's off the ground, and from there you're trying to hit down on the golf ball, and because your strikes have varied, you might have hit that shot that hits this part of the club that nobody wants to hit, and we're getting all those marks on the top of here, and that's because you've often had your tee maybe too high. You've been told to tee it up as high as possible, just like that, and then when we start to work down into the golf ball, you can see straight away I haven't got to my low point, and that is the part of the driver unfortunately we are striking, and that's the one that sounds great and you just see it go straight up in the air, and your partner's saying I don't think that's going to get past the ladies potentially, and it's not going to go very far, it's not going to reach that fairway. So we need to make sure that we're getting that ball set just above the driver, so a little bit about maybe half the ball just above that, but we've got to understand what shots we're going to see if we do that. So again, if we get hitting down onto that golf ball and we've got that low point forwards, often what we see is not only are we coming down, and even if we don't hit the roof of the driver, we're often ahead of that golf ball, and we start to see that golf ball start right. We start to see it start right, have the fade on it, and what do we do then? We start to counter, we start to get, okay, well, if I aim here, I can get that ball coming around nicely. And then on one occasion, we might square everything up and we go straight into the reservoir, which is just over those trees. And that's not what we want to see. So we've got to think, how can I get my low point to where I want it to be? How can I get that moving back towards that pro's play? So how can I get it 6 inches behind and working up? Well, very much that is from setup. So again, we start to see with people that ball position starts to vary. Again, you're told that you need to get that ball position forwards. Maybe it gets outside of the left foot. We're reaching for that, and we start to lunge at that golf ball, and then I'll start to hit down. And if we do that, we know we're going to start to see that shot right there. Oh, it didn't sound great, and it's gone into the trees. I don't know if I'm going to find that one. And if we look here, we've actually taken a divot. So how many of you hit a drive and take a divot? Look where that divot is compared to the tee. So we're working down and we're working across that golf ball. Very much a strike straight from the toe there. And we can see that's not something you want to look down at after you've hit that golf ball. So if we change that and we go back to where obviously your mid-handicap golfers and your better players start to get it, we start to get a little bit before. That's because we've now got that ball position just on our left heel, but we've also got our spine angle behind that golf ball. So we're keeping that behind there. If we keep that behind the golf ball, we're going to be able to work up on that ball. And if we work up on that golf ball, we know we're going to get the launch, we're going to help get a little bit less spin. And like that one there, a total different ball flight, a high towering draw, which is what most of you behind the camera are saying, well, I don't hit that shot, but that's because we're probably setting up and doing everything that gets us that first kind of impact. So you say there, how do I get this now back to where the pros have that? We need to start to think about, right, what do they do different to those good players? Because obviously we've just said mid-handicappers and your lower single-figure golfers are hitting up on that golf ball. But why do pros hit even more up on that? Well, again, this is where we start to talk about tee height. So you'll start to see that a lot of golfers or a lot of tour pros might have it a smidge higher. So they might go even higher on there, and we still want to get hitting up on it. So this is where, obviously, when I get that set up, you'll see that's a little bit higher above the face. We've still got the same setup, ball position is the same, and we're still angled back. But what we see from the pros is we often see that your mid-handicappers might still have that tendency to get ahead of the golf ball. You might be just sitting up on it, but everything is square, your hips, your chest, you haven't rotated through, and we're maybe not getting a little bit of forward shaft lean, which is what we would like to see here. You'll see that tour pros will be coming in, hitting up, but hands will be ahead of that, and you instantly see that my body and my hips are rotated through to allow me to get into that position. So we're reducing spin, we're hitting up on the golf ball, and that's where we're going to start to get ball speeds going up and starting to get those longer drives straight down the middle of the fairway and help you to lower your scores. So think about that, guys. You've got to make sure that you get into a routine here to get into that position. And again, even if you have some slow practice swings when you're on the driving range, that we work up to the top. Yes, our body stays behind the golf ball. We start to rotate down. We come into this delivery position here, and from here I'm just thinking rotate the hips, rotate the chest, and you'll see nicely there we're coming in with hands above. I've kept my angles, my body's rotated through, so we're getting the correct loft onto that golf ball. And if we can get the correct loft on there, onto this driver, I'm using the Tacoma Ignis D1 driver today, set at 10.5. If I can do that and get all those checkpoints sorted, then I can hit longer, straighter drives and really get it launching a long way down there. You can see ball flight there, speed straight down the middle of the fairway. That'll be the longest one out of the three. So get that low point right, guys. Start to get that to where we want it to be. Just think about it. We've got those 3 points there. You don't want to be that first tee mark. You don't want to be the second. We want to get you thinking your low point is here. We're hitting up onto that golf ball, and we're able to get that spin down, get the launch right, and make sure that you're hitting the longest drives possible. Guys, make sure to hit subscribe on the channel if you want to see golf tips coming in the next couple of weeks. We are going to be really hitting some winter lives, winter shots to be able to get you good at golf and lowering those scores.